What is addiction? Well, that is addiction is a chronic disorder characterized by compulsive engagement in a substance behavior despite negative consequences. And let's talk about the negative consequences. The negative consequences are as follows: you will lose everything that you find value in your life. And the further down the road that you go, the further you will find yourself in a worse and worse situation. For an example, look at myself. I've had our electricity turned off a couple days ago. Same with the internet. This will probably be one of the last videos I make because today I'm going to go pawn everything that I have value in, which is going to be my computer, probably a couple of firearms, a TV, some other stuff of mine. And you'll notice that there's flies all over me as well. That's probably because I don't care to even shower. I don't care to do anything. I don't want to work. I don't want to engage with family members. I don't even want to go outside. You'll find yourself in the same position that I am, if not worse, by engaging in any type of addictive things. Now, there's different levels to this, such as, let's say, nicotine. Generally, in my experience, one of these is $20, and you will consume this for I'm just saying in my specific 1 week. So that's $20 a week, $40 a month. You could do the math further than that, or excuse me, $80 a month. Now, me as well, I have this stuff called kratom. Okay, in my subjective experience, it costs, I don't know, $30 a bag. A bag will last me a week. So 30, 60, 90, $120 a month. So in those two addictions, I'm paying over $300 a month for. But it gets better. Okay. This stuff, when I combine them two together, makes me feel great. Okay? Makes me feel good. With that being said, it makes me feel so good, I don't want to do anything, such as take care of myself or anything or anybody around me. I don't want to work. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I've been tapering down off of both of them, in hopes that one day I could quit. But how did I get here to this point? Earlier in life, I was addicted to alcohol. Every chance I would get, I would knock it off. Give me it. Earlier in life, I would consume alcohol. It was about one time a week. Well, actually, at the beginning, I was underage, so it was whenever I could get it, which was about once a month. But then when I turned about 18, I got a job. I was able to make more money, able to buy it, so then it turned into every weekend. Just probably Friday night, throw a banger, get trashed. I was younger, so recovery wasn't too bad the next day. You know, a little bit of headache, nausea, vomiting, whatever, and then boop, eat a couple meals, chipper up, go about my week. And then, like, I got to the point to where it was like, hey, I could do this Friday and Saturday, and then I could recover on Sunday to be able to go to work on Monday. And that's how it stayed for a little while. And then eventually I got to the point to where I was doing it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, going into work hungover Monday. And then eventually, you know, like it always goes, I was like, well, I could slip it in like Wednesday night, just one time a week, and then party throughout the weekend. And then it just transcended from there every single night, you know. But I lost a lot of jobs. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of money. Uh, a lot of my morals. I lost just a lot of things. When you consume a substance, it changes the way you think. I don't care what anybody says. If you were stone cold sober, you would think a complete different way than if you were highly inebriated or even just inebriated in general. I feel like the decision making skills are hindered severely in my just subjective experience. But then, after a while, probably a couple years ago, um, figured out about kratom, and then I was taking alcohol and kratom and nicotine, probably some more stuff I don't even remember, but I just, here and there, whatever anybody has, I'm like, screw it, try it, whatever. DMT, cool. Weed, whatever, whatever. Anything. But uh, I told myself that it's either the alcohol or kratom. And the kratom, I felt lesser consequences of, I guess, because the withdrawal wasn't so bad at the time. So I continued to use kratom to where it is now, and it was pretty much the same thing. It would just be like once in a while, and then now I'm just taking it pretty much like almost every 2 to 3 hours, just not to feel sick. And it's just like if you trade one addiction for another addiction, it really doesn't matter because you still have the same problem. And this stuff it really isn't that expensive in comparison to other things that I've seen, like per se 7-OH. Or I know the extracts are pretty expensive as well. It really depends on where you go. If you're just doing the powder, it's really not. I spend like $30 a week, maybe. Sometimes I think sometimes a bag will last me 10 days. So, but it's still I'm not making any money because I am unemployed. So that $300 is a lot of money in perspective from where I'm sitting at. But I kind of want to talk to like what leads up to this per se in my subjective experience. What leads to addiction? And I feel like it's just a lot of psychological pain that I've been put through. You know, um, I've been, adopted. I've been a ward of the state. I've lived with my mom. I've lived with other family members. I've been in juvenile detention. Just growing up in a pretty rough aspect, I should say. My mom did everything right. You know, um, she took care of us and everything else, but through family members and stuff, there was I don't want to go into specifics, or whatever, but some bad things were done, and I just grew up pretty rough. And then later in life, I found drugs, and I was like, oh, well, this makes me feel good. So that's like the thing I'm chasing is feeling good. Because most of the time I've been on this earth, it's just been feeling bad. So it's like yin and yang. You have so much bad over here, and then good is down here, so whoop, you just want to kind of teeter totter it, and then you end up fucked. I mean, that's just the way it is. I think in all addiction, that like anybody that I've talked to in addiction, pretty much all says the same thing. It's just like, hey, I just feel bad. Whether it's physical, mental, psychological, or whatever, they just feel bad, so they just want to feel good. And drugs can make you feel good. But I think, the best way about getting off of any type of drug is, I don't know the answers to this because I've done it a couple times being sober, but I just white knuckled the whole thing, and I was only able to do it for a short period of times. Like maybe a month, maybe 2 months at most. Here and there, here and there, here and there. But it's just white knuckling the entire time. Go through the terrible freaking withdrawals. That's lasts about a week or so, maybe a little bit more or less, depending on how much shit I was taking. And then just sitting there, it's like the only way I could describe it is pretty much you're like trying to hold your breath the entire time that I go through sobriety. It's just like feeling like I need to breathe, which is doing any type of substance. And that's the only way I could equate it. Like, eventually, you're going to get used to that feeling of not being able to breathe, but, all it takes is just one bad day. And then you're fucked. You justify it to yourself, and you're like, hey, I just do it once. Just this one time. And then we start that whole pattern over again. It'll just be this one time, and then, I already relapsed or whatever, so fuck it, I'll do it next weekend, and then you just then back up at the same spot. That's how it is every single time. I mean, look at this place. It looks like a shithole. I mean, y'all can't see the whole room, but it's pretty bad in here. Flies everywhere, whatever else. I can't let these dogs go like outside there because I'm not gonna watch them. I know I'm not gonna watch them, and then they're gonna chew everything up. I mean, they've destroyed thousands of dollars worth of stuff. There's just too many problems that I have on a day-to-day basis, raising a child, taking care of all these bills that keep on coming in consecutively, one right after the motherfucking other, all day long, it feels like. Since I've lived here in 3 years, everything's fucking doubled. Like, when I first got in here, pretty much my bills were like $1,200 a month. And like I said, everything's doubled. It's like $2,400 now to live in a house that was built in 1913. My taxes have went up 360% in 3 years. So now I gotta pretty much pay the federal government $200 a month to live here. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But I could combat that by going and getting this property in my house and everything appraised, and just do a little bit of work, like a day's worth of work, and then probably lower that substantially. But I just have no will to do anything. I don't have will to clean the house. I don't have will to clean myself up. I don't like. I could make like what's left of my facial hair look decent, but for who? For what? I should take these dogs on walks every single day. I should, and I would like to. But you don't. If you're hungry, you eat, right? I'm not gonna get anything out of. If I was sober, probably I would get some dopamine or whatever out of it. You know what I mean? Like I would feel happy. The copium or whatever, the dopamine and serotonin would be flowing. But in the psychological trap that I'm in right now, it's a lot of anhedonia, meaning I don't feel the pleasure in almost anything. Besides, if I take a shit ton of this and this, that's the if I don't do that and I start doing things like, even if you've watched a couple of my streams, you'll even probably notice, like, I'm sometimes, like, I'll be winning and everything's going great, and then I just quit because I'm just not happy. Like, when used to, before I was on a whole bunch of shit, I would play Call of Duty and I would get dopamine hits on every single kill or whatever. Nope, none of that. Don't feel it. I don't feel any type of joy or pleasure, even pretty much masturbating. I don't feel it. I mean, that's why a lot of people try to have orgasms and sexual relations and whatever else, so they could feel some type of, dopamine and everything in their head and wherever else. Yeah, don't even chase that anymore. It's like anger. Some of the times I do get angry if there's a lot of BS. but it takes a lot, to get me there. But anger, nah. Happiness, not really. It's just like a line graph just staying level at all points, and like you see these little spikes when I take a dose. And that's it. Like not even really anything great. I don't even feel great when I take it. I just feel like that baseline numbness. That's what it is, numbness. All day. That's all I feel. It's just numbness. Numbness. And, on top of that, um, getting on social media, your phone. That's another one. I don't I can't even freaking like I used to love watching like body cam videos of the police and everything else, and like when people catch predators, and um I really liked a lot of different gaming channels and everything, like just as an example, Asmongold or Vanos Gaming and stuff like that. Used to love watching those videos. I'll turn that on and maybe make it like 45 seconds or so. And then I'm like, can't watch it. It ain't doing nothing for me. You know what I mean? Like, I just, feel numb. But, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to be a little vulnerable here. And maybe I could watch this later on in my life and be able to look back and be like, Jesus. Or I'm going to make a new law for myself when I do become sober. I'm going to have to, before I ever do any type of substance, or I can try to justify to myself that it's okay, I'm going to force myself to watch this video before doing so. And if you are watching this right now, don't fucking do it. There is nothing fun about being in this situation right now. Nothing. Did you see the fly? Yeah. You remember the flies? There Nobody likes you. I don't even sleep. I sleep like maybe 4 hours, I'm up for 20. It's the reality of it. I'm up for 4 hours, I sleep, or I'm up for 20 hours, I sleep 4 hours. A lot of the people that I've researched online that say they take this stuff, they're like, dude, I sleep for like 12 to 16 hours. I'm like, don't get it. Some of the people, they say that there's no physical withdrawals. I don't get it. Maybe I just way overdid it. And that's another thing that I'm always doing. I'm always taking everything to the extreme on anything that I do. Like, I worked a couple jobs in my life, and I was putting in freaking 100 hours a week. I was never even here. I'd be at this house like maybe a month, or like one day out of the month, and maybe sometimes I wouldn't see it for 2, 3 months, you know, but I was making money. All my money is gone. Everything. I am the brokest person you've probably ever met. I'm getting sued by credit card people. I'm in staggering amounts of debt. And that's why I'm going to, oh, there's a fly. You see him? Get out of here. That's why I'm going to go sell all my shit today. So I could get at like a baseline. You know what I mean? And probably be able to pay my bills for a month. So I'll be able to sit in my bed and sweat, shake, shit myself, piss, whatever I gotta fucking do. That is not my bed, that's the dog bed. It's just, that's what it's there for. Just for the dogs to pee on whatever the fuck they do it on that bed. That is their bed. But anyways, I'm going to sell all my shit so I then can try to become sober and work a fucking job. Because I have to. My old lady is not feeling the greatest. That's another thing. I feel bad, just fucking terrible every single day because she's out there working. I'm just sitting here taking care of the dogs and kids at the house, just trying to do whatever I can. I do little odd jobs here and there just to make a little bit of money to pay for my shitbag habit. Makes me feel really terrible. That is one feeling that I do feel all the time. And that is feeling fucking terrible. I'll tell you that. And if anybody is taking substances, they probably know exactly what I'm talking about. They probably feel it too because it's not fun. So if you're like 18 or whatever watching this, or a young adult, or somebody that's thinking about, hey, maybe I'll try, you know, example, alcohol. Well, be careful and make sure that you never, ever, ever take a substance for more than 1 day in a row. Because the consequences of that, I will tell you, are catastrophic. And it will probably take me many months, probably years, to pay for everything that I've done. Because when you take these substances for an extended period of time, whether it be like Xanax, Adderall, whatever it is, it makes a chemical imbalance in your brain. And you got to reach homeostasis. And that's pretty much what like the withdrawals are, the acute withdrawals at least. Your brain is going all cattywampus, gamma receptors, this, that, the third, the fifth, seventh, who cares, is all going nuts. And that's why you're feeling the way you're feeling, because your brain is trying to make that homeostasis that you've been chemically imbalancing it for so long. And I'm going to pay for that for months because I've been taking this shit for years, and for every action is a reaction type deal. So I've been flying up here for so long, so when I go to baseline, it's pretty much going to feel like a huge crash. It's just, there's a whole lot of science and shit that I don't understand about it, but that's all I know. And it's going to be not a good fucking time. That's all I could tell you. What else? I don't really know, but that's pretty much. I just wanted to put this out here. If you're young, and one more thing, like like I said, there's levels to everything, too. So like, I'm pretty sure everybody should know this reference. This is the beer of kratom, okay? So like, I feel like there's 4 different steps to everything, or I guess, well, most things I should say. So you got this, which is the beer of kratom, which is just the powder. And then you'll have extracts. There might be a step in there that I'm just ignorant about, but I'm pretty sure it goes just the leaf. Then you could do extracts, and then you could do 7-OH. So that's 3 on that end, which 7-OH being the most potent, and I've heard it's really fucking terrible to even get off that shit. It's way, way worse than anything that I'm probably going to experience. But as well as you have like alcohol, you have beer, you have wine, you have liquor, and then you have like moonshine, which is a real potent shit. The 7-OH is the moonshine of alcohol. And I feel like, it's at least in my experience, when I had beer and was drinking that, my withdrawals from coming off of that were so much less than that of drinking moonshine and or liquor. So if you ever do experiment with something, kind of do research and make sure that it's going to be like the beer, the lowest tier, you know what I mean? Because at least if you, I hope you don't, but if you do decide, hey, let me take this for a little while, it'll be a lot easier coming off of that than it would be if you started out drinking liquor or moonshine. Or, like, if you're the kratom, a lot of people go from the kratom, or the 7-OH, to the extracts, and then go from the extracts to the powder, and then they'll taper off of the powder to get off. And that's pretty much where I am in this world right now. I'm just trying to taper down off the powder to get the fuck off, because I am one miserable bastard. all day long. All day long. But if anybody gets help out of this or whatever, just let me know, I guess. And thanks for watching.